Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, June the 24th, 2025. It's 9 a.m. and we're in the central jury room of the Ralph H. Walton Jr. Justice Center at 1200 West Pearl Street in Granbury, Texas. Today is a regular meeting of the Commissioners Court of Hood County, Texas. And today we are pleased to have with us Pastor Mark Roth from the Acton Baptist Church to give us the invocation. Thank you, Pastor. Sure.
Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, thank you. Thank you for being our God. Thank you that no matter what we do, you are there. That your hand guides, that your will is done. Whether it's to teach us a lesson or to grow us or to commend us. So, Lord, I pray that we would be within your will, that you would give us the insight and the wisdom to act and live and move according to who you are, your nature and your goodness, so that we won't have to learn the lesson all over again. So, Lord, have your hand on us. Lead us. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Join me with the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we have some special presentations here today. The first is a proclamation to honor the 100th anniversary of the Tolar United Methodist Church. We got anybody here from the Tolar United Methodist? Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, where's the proclamation here? I spent all my time talking to these good people up here, and let us go ahead and sign these right quick. And then we'll get everybody, as we're coming up, why don't everybody from the Tolar come up here, and we're going to take a picture so we can put this in the paper here, okay? I'll start sending that. Here we go, Jack. Y'all can sign that one here. That way it won't be in the middle of the picture. Oh, back here a little bit. Okay, let's all go down there and we'll. Good. I want you to know that I was talking to this gentleman right here. This guy graduated from Tarleton. And then if you graduate, they never would let him leave. So he stayed there and got his master's. And then they turned around and wouldn't let him leave. So he taught there for only what? How many years? 38. Only 38 years there at Tarleton. So he's kind of an icon there at Tarleton. I love that university. Let me get right there. I'm going to stand between y'all. How about that? Perfect. I told him I love that. How many years y'all been married?
3.5.
I just love those long marriages like that. When I was divorce attorney, they had so much property to divide, and I told them that I always like to divide it, give a third to the wife, A third to the husband and a third to me. I thought that was a very fair division. Let's see if you really learned something all that time up here. What, you want to read this for the, can you read it loud enough without the microphone?
Official proclamation to honor the 100th anniversary of the Tolar United Methodist Church House. Whereas, the Methodist congregation was established in Tolar in 1898 and then thrived as the community grew, surpassing 300 members by 1920, outgrowing the church house itself. Whereas, that congregation decided in 1925 to build a larger house of worship at the corner of U.S. Highway 377 and Tolar Highway, in which to give glory and honor to God. And whereas, the congregation did gather in that newly completed church house on June 28, 1925, for a special opening service led by its pastor, Reverend George S. Slover, during which the congregation praised God for the blessings of faith and salvation and community and faith. And whereas that house of worship has been a place for witnessing and serving, learning and growing, caring and sharing, increasing the faith of countless souls, and whereas that house of worship still worthily serves the people of Tolar today, stands ready to begin its second 100 years of service. Now therefore, the Hood County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim June 29, 2025, the 100th anniversary of the Tolar United Methodist Church House in recognition of this significant historical achievement. Signed this day, the 24th day of June, 2025.
By all members of the council.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this lady right here is a graduate of Tolar High School, and then the same thing. She kept teaching at Tolar High School. They wouldn't let her loose. She was an elementary teacher at Tolar High School for how many years?
29 years.
Only 29 years.
Yeah.
So how about what these two God bless both of you. Take this. Thank that. Give that to the church.
Okay.
It was an honor to meet all of you. Thank you all for coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love y'all's church.
Oh,
I've
thank
been
you.
down there.
She was my fourth grade teacher.
Was she really? This was your
I was her
fourth grade teacher.
a few years ago. It's like how many?
Is that right? Well, good deal. Thank you.
Y'all have a good one.
Hey, howdy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You have a great church. I'm going to go to church here before I leave here. It's good to see y'all. Thank y'all all for doing this job. You did a great job. You wanted to be in that picture?
No, I'm gonna be in the next.
Oh, you're going to be in the next picture?
Memorial Lane.
You represent?
Memorial Lane.
Who's here from Friends of Memorial Lane besides? Oh, Laura. Thank you. Oh. Y'all know who this is. This is Faye Lampman. She bothers us every
to designate July 7th as Fallen Law Enforcement Officer Day. Whereas Governor Greg Abbott designated July 7th as Fallen Law Enforcement Officer Day. That's kind of a in recognition of the ultimate sacrifice made by Texas law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty. And whereas July 7th is the anniversary of an ambush-style attack that took the lives of 5 Dallas police officers in 2016, this was the deadliest attack of U.S. law enforcement since September 11, 2001. And whereas it is our officers who put their lives on the line for us every day to ensure our safety and well-being, we must stand in support of these brave men and women, and their sacrifices must be remembered. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Hood County Commissioner Court does hereby recognize July 7th, 2025 as Fallen Enforcement Officer Day. In Hood County, and ask that all citizens take a moment to honor the memory of these fallen officers who are dying in the line of duty and pray for their families and communities. Sign this day by the court. And we're having an event at Memorial Lane. You want to tell them about that?
Yes, on July 7th, that is 2 Mondays from now, we will be having an event with a candlelight vigil, and they will also be doing a roll call for all of our Texas officers that were killed in the line of duty from July 1st to July 1st. So it is a very moving event that we go and come and support our officers and help us honor their memory.
What time?
At 8 p.m.
8 p.m. on July 7th.
Monday, July 7th. Good deal. Let's pose here for a picture here. All right.
Young Ben.
Never worked for me.
Thank you very much. These two ladies do a fabulous job there. You should come to Memorial Lane really and see that. You're going to be there.
Yeah.
Back, just leave it back, because we got a bunch of awards, service awards.
It was good to see all those people from the Acton Baptist Church, wasn't it? I mean, really. I've told about this church. All right. Now the service awards.
They were sitting too far up front. They had to be Methodist, not.
Yeah, that. Okay. All right. The service award. The first service award is Leslie Poteet, 5 years. Miss Poteet, is she here?
Yep.
Yes, come on down.
Leslie's been with us for 5 years in dispatch, and she does a fantastic job, and so we're very proud to award her this 5-year award.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, the next is Catherine Toll. Hi, Catherine. 5 years.
Another one of our fantastic dispatchers with 5 years, and we couldn't do it without her, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Kevin Spark. I guess somebody waylaid him. He's such a small guy.
He's on vacation, so.
He's on vacation.
Yep.
He's been here 10 years. All right. Then fourth is Brittany Stovall.
She's not able to attend this morning.
Is she working?
She is working.
Good.
Yes.
Well, it's like 10 years. Good for Brittany. And 5 is Denise Lazan. We know Denise. Come on down here, Denise. 15 years.
Denise started out on patrol, and she's had a number of different positions. She was the head of dispatch once upon a time, and then she decided she wanted to go off to war at Djibouti. But now she's a veteran of a foreign war, and she came back and takes care of all the vehicles and equipment. So we're very proud of her, and congratulations on 15 years.
I started when I was 10.
Good
She
deal.
started when she was 10.
Thank you, sir.
All right. The next item is the citizens' comments at large. And we do have some speakers here. And the first speaker is Mr. Greg Harrell.
Morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. How are you? So it's always a great opportunity when I get to speak to you, a group of Republicans, particularly Republicans that are elected officials. As you know, the Republican Party of Texas is governed by a platform, and the platform opens with a preamble that echoes the Declaration of Independence, and then it goes on to a set of 10 principles. These are principles by which all Republicans that are in the state of Texas should be guided. One of those principles is personal accountability and responsibility. We don't talk enough, in my opinion, in our culture about accountability, but it's an important word. It refers to the fact that you all, me, all of us that are in our society are accountable in some way or another to either each other or to, in your cases, the people that have elected you, the people that pay the taxes here in the county. You guys are all accountable to those folks. Now, the opening of that set of principles also says that we expect our elected officials to abide by these principles through both acknowledgement and action. So I'm here this morning as the chair of the Hood County Republican Party Executive Committee, just to acknowledge that we recognize that you as a governing body, as a group of elected officials, all wearing the label Republican, have faced some pretty difficult issues over the last few months, including things like human resources issues in the IT department, certainly the issue of the disposition of the YMCA, certainly a tough issue for all of you to face. I just want to encourage you that as you face these, I want to encourage you that we recognize that you have accorded yourself with both accountability and responsibility the way that you saw fit. I encourage you as you move forward with the HR issue regarding IT. Thank you so much for reaching out to other counties, other organizations, other governmental entities to benchmark those folks and to make sure that you're looking for best practices, and in so doing that you bring those best practices back to Hood County to make Hood County a better place. I also want to acknowledge that as we move forward in terms of accountability and responsibility, we recognize, we as the Republican Party here in Hood County, that we have some very difficult issues that are facing us right now. Included in those issues are the county jail, probably going to have a bond. Certainly, roads are going to be an issue. We recognize that we're probably going to have to face a bond. So I just wanted to come forward this morning. Thank you for according yourself in accordance with principle number 5, personal accountability and responsibility. We stand ready to work with you and on your behalf as we move forward and discharge these bond issues. Thank you very much.
Okay, next speaker is Jessica Hall.
Before I begin, I'd just like to say that Wolf Hollow and Mara Bitcoin Data Center have been creating a noise issue at our house for a few years now, but lately it's been just horrendous. And the noise that these facilities are causing are really disturbing our sleep, hurting our ears, and impacting the enjoyment of our home. And each BESS that is allowed to build close to our neighborhood is going to be contributing to that noise pollution during including the BESS that's already here, that's Luminant Power Plant. And moving on, recently, I was able to attend part of the workshop for our wonderful fire departments and got to hear some of their budget and equipment requests. I just wanted to say that we greatly appreciate the important work that both our volunteer firefighters and our fire marshal do for this county. My hope is that this county will be able to meet those crucial needs for both our volunteer firefighters and our fire marshal this year. Some of these include increasing the fire marshal's salary, adding the part-time help that he has asked for in the budget, and funding for the NFPA subscription. I just wanted to say thank you again to our fire marshal and all of our awesome firefighters out here in Hood County. We truly appreciate all of you and your dedication to this county.
Thank you. Okay, the next speaker is Mr. Richard Haas. Is that close enough?
Close enough, Your Honor.
That's good. Hayes.
Hayes. Judge, when you have a name like mine, you answer to anything.
Oh, I didn't look at your little deal here.
Tried to give you a hint, sir.
I should have looked at that, yeah.
Maybe I'll put the hint at the beginning next time.
Okay.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Richard Hayes, and I worked for the Coca-Cola Company for 32 years in information technology. During that time, I had a lot of exposure to IT managed services contracts. I was on 8 RFPs looking to outsource, 4 of which outsourced various aspects. I managed 3 of them. I ended 2 of them, one bringing it in-house, one shifting to another provider. So I have a lot of experience, and that's not counting the ones that other people did in the organization and I had observation of. And the one thing I'll tell you is you never know, well, actually 2 things I want to tell you. One, you never know up front what the outcome's going to be. It's a journey that you take as you go through this process to see where your IT organization ranks with the standard and what makes sense. But the other thing I'll tell you is you've got to start off on the journey on the correct foot with a good foundation. That's a good, solid RFP. So when you voted to do an RFP, I spoke with Mr. Tillman and told him about my experience and offered to assist. And he reached out to me, and I can tell you I was amazed at the great job he did writing an RFP. When you're not in IT and it's not your wheelhouse, it's real easy to forget important things, particularly in the area of service levels. When you had speakers in here from across the county talking about their need for IT, they all talked about service levels, how quick someone is there, how quick their problems get resolved. And that's one of the keys of a good outsourcing contract. And he had that nailed down very well. I made a few very minor suggestions to him that he took the best and ignored the rest, as any good man would. And I think you have a good foundation, and it's good to Mr. Tillman. I wish he was here to hear this today, but I'm sure someone will tell him. If I may change topics, please, to talk about our great firefighters for a moment. Last weekend was the State Firefighters and Fire Marshals Convention, and out of that, Granbury firefighter Lau Erkenbach was elected as the chaplain for the State Firefighters and Fire Marshals Association. Lowell is the chaplain of the Granbury Volunteer Fire Department and the SFFMA chaplain and now the state chaplain. And Lowell has a vision of expanding the chaplaincy role beyond just praying over the meals and the meetings to manage the mental health and be an early warning sign for watching the mental health of firefighters, because some of the things they encounter are unpleasant and can strain the mental health of even the best men and women. So that's some good news. Granbury continues to lead the state, and we have great people here. Thank you for your time.
Hey, the next speaker is Sharon Sheelander.
Judge, I just signed up in case I wanted to speak about something, because sometimes I've been caught people wanting to speak and couldn't,
So you yield your time back. Well, good. Well, that's the end of that, so thank you. So now we're into the miscellaneous business to be discussed, and the first item is Discuss and take appropriate action to sign the event application allowing the use of the historical courthouse parking lot beginning Thursday, August the 28th at 8 p.m. to set up through Monday, September the 1st at 6 p.m. for the Labor Day Weekend Festival. Do I hear a motion to allow this? This is something that we do every year. It's just a very great Labor Day Weekend Festival. So do I hear a motion?
Yeah, Judge, I'll make that motion to allow the judge to sign the event application, allowing the use of the historical courthouse parking lot beginning Thursday, August 28th at 8 p.m. through Monday, September 1st at 6 p.m. for the Labor Day Weekend Festival.
Second.
Motion been made by Commissioner Andrews to allow the county judge to sign the event application for the use of the historic courthouse for the Labor Day weekend, second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. Second item, discuss and take appropriate action to approve a resolution establishing a 20% Hood County homestead exemption to property taxes pursuant to Section 11.13N of the Texas Tax Code for Hood County resident homestead.
Judge, are there any speakers for? Okay, okay, so this, I brought this up last court, and there was a lot of discussion about it. I'll just hit the highlights. We did a 10% homestead exemption last year, and I think that this opportunity right now presents itself as the best time to go to the maximum 20%, and the reasons are because the Wolf Hollow tax abatement is now complete. It's over, so that's going to increase the taxable value by about $234 million. We also have an estimate of new construction that will add $358 million, which is not subject to the 3.5% cap on the taxable revenue. We also have a lot of new development that's on the way, as we know that a lot of industrial development that's coming to our community, and actually a lot to Precinct 2 due to the gas lines and access to the grid. So this is actually a perfect time to do this. We also have a fund balance. We implemented a fund balance policy last year that set our fund balance at 35%, which based on a $44.5 million budget is about $15.5 million. According to our external auditors, our fund balance is approximately double that amount. So we also know that the Texas legislature had over $24 billion in surplus and failed to provide really meaningful tax relief to taxpayers. And the Hood County Commissioners can do our part to help with tax relief. So going to the 20% homestead exemption means an additional $90 to the homeowners with a tax value of $350,000 assessment. The impact to our budget is about $1.5 million, which is more than offset by the things that I mentioned earlier. So we put this on, tabled this last court to give the commissioners and the judge time to do their own research and come to their conclusions. So with that, I'm opening it up to any comments.
Yeah, that's, Tina, I think you actually nailed it last court when you said that this, I don't know, I think that we kind of tend to look at this as a tax cut, and it's more of a tax shift. If we're going to get $20 million in taxes, just to make the numbers really easy, say 50% of it is homeowner valuation and 50% of it is business valuation. If we come back and collect that $20 million again next year, the shift is going to be that 45% of that's paid by the homeowners and 55% is paid by the renters and the businesses. It's, I think that we have to address some issues, and the tax abatement coming off impacts that also, because that creates a shift back over to the commercial side or whatever, and it could kind of balance that out to some extent. I have some hesitations with this, but you know, I just wanted to get that out there. Tina, I do actually agree with you. So that I just wanted to throw that out.
So do you, Chris, I don't know if you are able to click on the resolution to bring it up while I read it, or unless anyone else have comments? I mean, I can read it from my copy, but.
Go ahead and read it.
Okay. Hood County Commissioners Court Resolution on Homestead Exemption. Whereas the 89th Legislature failed to provide meaningful tax relief to the taxpayers, and whereas in July 2023, the Commissioners Court of Hood County adopted a 10% homestead exemption, and whereas the Commissioners Court of Hood County now wishes to increase the homestead exemption to 20% as authorized by the Texas Tax Code Section 11.13N to provide a maximum tax relief available through a local homestead exemption, and whereas homestead exemptions will promote home ownership and reduce the likelihood of Hood County residents being taxed out of their homes, and whereas economist Milton Friedman famously stated, "I am in favor of cutting taxes under any circumstances for any excuse, for any reason, whenever possible. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hood County Commissioners Court hereby establishes a 20% homestead exemption to property taxes pursuant to Texas Tax Code Section 11.13N, which permits a taxing entity to adopt an exemption for taxation of a percentage of the appraised value of an individual's resident homestead not to exceed 20%. And be it further resolved that the homestead exemption being adopted before July 1st, 2025 will be effective starting with the 25-26 budget year in accordance with the Texas Tax Code, Section 11.13N, dated this 24th day of June 2025. Then I'll make a motion to adopt the homestead.
Okay. All right, please. Go ahead.
I move to adopt this resolution for the homestead exemption.
I'll second.
It's been made by Commissioner Samuelson to adopt the homestead 20% county homestead exemption to property taxes, seconded by Commissioner Eagle. Any further discussion?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to add that our legislature woefully let us down this session. They told us, the Republicans down there told us they were going to go down there and fight for tax relief for the homeowners in this state. And instead they gave $500 million to Hollywood as an example. And I agree partially with Commissioner Andrews and Ms. Brown on the tax shift, but it's not a dollar for dollar shift in my opinion, and I don't think they got the numbers to prove that up. It is the homeowners, the families that are in this county make up this country. And businesses have the cost of doing business, so that they can factor that into running their businesses. A lot of people in this county are unable, they're almost getting taxed out of their homes right now. So they can't even afford to live here. So I was in favor of going 20%, frankly, when we first brought this up 2 years ago. Was it 2?
2 years ago, I brought it up.
And Commissioner Wilson also. And so, and you got me on quoting Milton Friedman. Any resolution that quotes Milton Friedman in a positive way, you got me. So, you know, with that said, I'm totally in favor of this.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I wanted to just make it clear here. I think I'm going to stand on principle on this with the renters and the businesses that this. I agree with Milton Friedman, but this isn't a tax cut. This is moving the numbers over. And again, I think that significantly impacts those people that have rental homes that, that tax gets passed through to that renter. And I've struggled with this. I'm not 100% one way or the other by any means, but anyway, that's my piece. I'll not belabor my point.
Well, I got a response to that one. We are in control of tax rate.
Yes.
Us five. And I disagree. I believe it is a tax cut. It is a tax cut on the people who own homes who qualify for this. But be that as it may, we can have a ethereal discussion on the policy issues at another time. But we control the tax rate up here. So we can still cut the taxes across the board. So that's my
I guess
third cent.
if you look at it, that for the last 7 years, there's been one commercial industry that's been receiving a tax benefit on the backs of the taxpayers. And this is giving that back to them.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries 4-1 with Commissioner Andrews voting against. Okay, item number 3, consider and take appropriate action to accommodate a reimbursement request by Indian Harbor Volunteer Fire Department for repairs on Engine 51, a county-owned apparatus, in the amount of $54,379.36. These repairs were required to continue the safe operation on their primary service structure fire response vehicle. Funding source to be determined by the court and county auditor.
Yeah, Judge, the engine 51 had some had some pretty significant issues going on, and they put it in to get a couple of things worked on there, and it kind of snowballed. And this is a county-owned engine, and it's the primary structure response for Indian Harbor and everybody that Indian Harbor Fire Department and everybody that they serve in that response area. So this is a county-owned vehicle, and this has put a significant dent in their budget for the year. So
we were going to jump up sooner, but I thought you had a speaker on this one. Yes, sir. I'm just not standing close enough.
Close enough.
Was there a speaker on this item?
Yeah, now it's on.
Should I yield to them and then?
Your speaker.
Yeah, you want to wait until they speak?
Okay. So they came to me and said that they had some issues with the truck. I encouraged them to go ahead and get it fixed. And then if it was going to put a strain on their budget, told them we would come to court and give them the opportunity to present their case for a reimbursement. This is Assistant Chief Jeff Harper, if you have any questions for him.
Okay, Chief. Speak it.
This started with a fuel leak in the truck. That's the reason. Then it went for the PM, and the cab wouldn't actually go up. So it just kind of snowballed. We were lucky enough to have Toller loan us an engine while this was out. Our other engine is not working as well. We're waiting on a belt. It was made in Canada, so getting a belt here is a little difficult. So Toller was lucky enough we got to borrow their engine while this was out. It was out for about 4 months getting repaired. All these would have been in Fort Worth, a downed engine for these repairs. They would not have put this back in service until these were fixed.
And also that said, one of the trucks that we have on order that we're supposed to get mid-26 is one of the replacements for that engine.
Okay, with that, Tina Brown, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, of course, we need to fix it. It's county property. But why wasn't this taken up in budget? Why is it we're in the middle of budget talks. Why isn't it being brought up during the budget issues? And And how often do you go get repairs and then come in and ask for reimbursement? Did you get bids? Did you just think it's like, you know, you're better off asking for forgiveness instead of asking for permission? I don't understand how this, if this is the way things are done with the fire department.
You want to respond to that?
Yeah. Let me. Well, you want this, or you want me to take it? Go ahead.
Oh, yours, Jeff.
I drive an older model truck myself, a personal one, and I don't ever plan for the engine to blow up. But if it happens, I have to fix it to have a vehicle. Again, this started as a fuel leak that they were going to get addressed. While they were there working on it, they found air leaks, fuel leaks, problems with other things in the truck that they basically said were borderline safety issue. The place where we had the repairs done is the same company that does all of our PMs for the county. They are a contracted preventative maintenance provider. So with any unexpected maintenance repair on a vehicle, this was one of those things. And so the little $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 repairs, they can adjust some stuff in their budget and make do for that. $54,000 is nearly half of their annual budget. So that puts a significant strain on what they're able to do. And with the discussion that we had at the Capitol hearing, the fire departments are actually doing very well right now with membership. So when they get new people, the first guy in the door, when he joins and gets approved and passes background and everything else, he gets issued a $6,000 outfit to run into burning buildings to keep them safe. So for every new member you get, that's another $6,000 you're buying in bunker gear and equipment to be able to outfit those people to do that. That's where this puts the strain on their budget. So the money that they had budgeted for the training and the equipment and the outfitting of those people is at a significant strain because this wasn't a planned thing. We didn't plan on having a fuel leak and air leaks and all of this stuff. Engine 51 is one of the trucks that originally was scheduled for a refurbishment, but we all know where the refurb program went. So their truck, they do have a truck on order to replace this one. We just have to keep it running so that they have a structure fire vehicle until the replacement is received.
Then what will we do with that truck after we spend $55,000 on it? 55,000?
Use it for almost a year until their other one gets here.
Until the other one gets here. And then what will we do with it?
Well, I mean, it still has value, absolutely. Okay. Whether that's, you know, we find a way to repurpose it within the county, sell it, whatever it is, it still has some value. And this is pretty attuned to, yeah, just like Jeff said, if your engine blows up, you know, you've got
I understand.
a decision to make.
I just don't know why we're not talking about it in budget, you know, right now. I'm guessing we have leftover money in contingency that it's going to, you know, that we need to spend before the end of the year.
No, we don't ever approach it that way. We don't have to spend it all.
No, but it has to be spent. I mean, so the money has to come from somewhere, and we do have it. So I guess we don't have to wait for budget. It just seems like, how long ago is it gone into?
So if I were to have this in the budget, I would have had to have known last October that we were going to blow up a truck that we had to fix. If we're waiting for this budget, I have to wait until next October because our budget doesn't go into effect till October. I can't have a dead truck sitting in their fire station for 6 months.
I get that.
So.
And also on the refurb plan, this is about 5 years behind. And I think the refurbs we were looking at were $350, $370 per truck, somewhere in that ballpark. It wasn't a complete refurb, but these are all issues that would have been addressed in that refurb. But I mean, we got 5 more years out of that truck, and that $54,000 that we did end up having to spend on it to keep it functioning and serving the public like it needs to, kind of.
It just, I don't know, it just seems like that, like you said, whatever it costs, we'll just come to court and see if they won't reimburse you. That is not the way I think departments should run. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, do I hear a motion?
I do have a question on, the funding is not noted on here. Is that coming? There is
Fund 55?
there's an emergency management budget, 101, 54, 41, 32, 800, that's got 229,000. Why wouldn't it come out of emergency management?
Well, that's a whole other department. I don't touch her funds any more than I do the sheriff's office. I don't know what she has budgeted out of her accounts for her funding. So I wouldn't even ask for it to come out of there. The only unfortunate thing about this was when I had to get this on the agenda, Ms. Matlock was out of town on vacation, and I didn't have a chance to speak with her. So I didn't know if coming out of contingency would be better, or Fund 55, or what. Is why I didn't put a funding source on there. So to meet the timeline to get this on the agenda, I just put on there for the funding source to be determined by the court and the county auditor. But I really would defer to her best judgment on what best would work for that.
That's what Fund 55 is set up for, and that's where it needs to be.
Okay.
And
what is your opinion, Ms. Auditor?
The way I view the emergency management fund is for something like COVID or something like that. It's a rolling fund. It's not like a replenished fund.
Okay.
So I would personally recommend 55, but it's up to y'all.
Okay, thank you.
And I just wanted to add that if the volunteer fire departments were coming in here and making a practice out of doing something like this, it'd be different. This is an exceptional case where, and I can understand when you're working with a piece of equipment like this. So I don't understand what the problem is as far as somebody objecting to this, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do to have your equipment running, and these men have to have their equipment. It's just that simple.
Any further discussion? If not, do I hear a motion?
Yeah, Judge, I'll make a motion to reimburse Indian Harbor Volunteer Fire Department for repairs on engine 51 in the amount of $54,379.36 out of Fund 55.
Second.
Motion been made by Commissioner Andrews to reimburse Indian Harbor Volunteer Fire Department for repairs on engine 51, the amount of $54,379.36 for repairs out of Fund 55, second by Commissioner Samuelson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item number 4, discuss and consider for approval the funding request of $30,000 for Hood County Clean Air Coalition for fiscal year 2025-26. That's my motion, but we have Michelle and Mark, Chuck, come on up, all of y'all, come on up here. Give her some moral support here and tell us why we need this $30,000 to keep Hood County from getting into real severe problems. Isn't that right? Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Michelle.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. I am Michelle McKenzie. I'm the Air Quality Program Manager for the Hood County Clean Air Coalition. With me today is Mark Franco, who is our board chairman for the coalition, and Chuck Licata, who is also a board member, and Judge Massengill is also a board member on our coalition. The coalition oversees air quality planning for Hood County to address ozone air pollution in the county with a 9-member board that includes representatives of Hood County, the cities of Granbury and Crescent, local businesses, and citizens of Hood County. For some background, Hood County has been at risk of a non-attainment designation for ozone over the years. Ozone is part of smog air pollution and poses environmental and health risks. It is formed by a chemical reaction of nitrogen oxide emissions from burning fossil fuels and volatile organic compounds in the presence of heat and sunlight. Ozone season runs from March through November in North Texas. After several years of improving air quality, our ozone numbers have been increasing in recent years. In 2024, we surpassed the 2015 ozone standard and the 2008 ozone standard with a final design value of 78 parts per billion. Design values at that rate would potentially push the county into a non-attainment designation. As of the end of May, the design value is already at 72 parts per billion, and most of our high ozone readings occur later in the summer, so that number is likely to increase. We will likely at least exceed the 2015 ozone standard of 70 parts per billion for 2025. Exceeding these standards has economic and health impacts for the residents of the county. The Clean Air Coalition is currently overseeing 2 projects funded by an interlocal agreement between the City of Granbury and the North Central Texas Council of Governments. Funding for this interlocal agreement is from the TCEQ Rider 7 Ozone Air Quality Planning Grant that provides funding for ozone-affected counties in Texas. For North Texas, this includes Hood and Hunt counties. Nick Cog oversees the Rider 7 grant for both counties. We are currently doing a monitoring project that is being conducted by the Texas A&M Transportation Institute and includes 4 monitors installed at locations in Hood County around the TCEQ regulatory monitor that is located in the county annex parking lot, and 1 monitor installed to the south in Somervell County. The Somervell County monitor will help measure emissions and ozone transported into Hood County from the south. 4 of the 5 locations have sensors that measure ozone, nitrogen oxide, and particulate matter. All 5 of the locations have weather stations and federally equivalent method monitors that measure ozone. Our other project is an emission inventory review of Hood County to account for emissions from on-road sources like light, medium, and heavy-duty vehicles, off-road sources like road construction equipment, point sources like industrial sites, and area sources that are tied to industrial practices that are not tied to a singular location like oil and gas activities. Some of the grant funding was allowed for the coalition to aid with overseeing the Rider 7 projects, but this does not cover all of our expenses. The Rider 7 grant program was approved in the recent legislative session, but we do not know yet how much funding will be available to continue support for the coalition office. Previous funding has been in the amount of $281,000 approximately for 2 years for Hood and Hunt counties to cover monitoring, emission inventories, and administrative expense. The past biennium, Hunt County agreed to let Hood County receive the entire funding because of our increasing ozone numbers. This may not be the case with the funding this time. To continue overseeing air quality planning and activities related to this project, the coalition is requesting financial support from Hood County, the City of Granbury, and the City of Crescent. For 25-26, we're requesting $30,000 each from the City of Granbury and Hood County to help cover administrative expenses for the Air Quality Program Manager position and to maintain the Clean Air Coalition office. The City of Granbury has continued to cover the cost of providing office space and equipment for the Coalition office to use, in addition to the supporting funds. Our Coalition's administrative expenses are about $81,000 per year. And thank you for your consideration of this request, and we're happy to try to answer any questions that you may have.
Mark, do you have anything to add? Go ahead and tell us how bad it's going to be if we get out of attainment here.
Yeah, if we get out of attainment, we're looking at emissions inspections on every single vehicle in this county. And we were up here, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, we had done an inventory of vehicles. We were able to get the number of vehicles, and the citizens of this county were looking at well over $2 million in inspection fees that they were going to have to pay every year. And that's just vehicles. That doesn't include anything else for the commercial side of this county. It also, it's not a very good thing to be in when you're trying to solicit other industrial companies to move into this area to help support those anchor jobs that are needed in this county. So it's very important that we stay in attainment.
But there's nothing you can do about it, right? All you're doing is monitoring it. There's not one thing y'all can do about changing that.
What we are attempting to do with this current project is to find out where this spike in emissions is coming from that started in 2022. We were well within attainment in 2021, and then in 2022, something's changed. I think you all know what has happened in the last 3 years. So our intention is to try to figure out where this is coming from so that we can potentially address it, or at least prevent it from going any higher.
One of the things that you did, and thank you for doing that, is sending a letter to TCEQ with your concerns about the expansion of Wolf Hollow and the air quality permit. So have you been following the?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you know that there's contested hearings and.
Yeah, we were on that call.
Okay. Thank you for doing that. I think that your do you have monitors down around that area?
If you look at the area that we're monitoring, you'll see where we're going. So the Somerville County one is wind coming before that Wolf Hollow, and then we have a disbursement of monitors after Wolf Hollow.
Okay, is that on your website, or where would I see that?
It's actually, because it's still part of an ongoing project with TCEQ, we can't release anything publicly. We do have a map that we could share with you that shows the location of those monitors. We have one at Rancho Brazos Community Center. There's one at Rocking X Ranch. There's one in Toller, and there is one at a private residence in the Mitchell Bend, Mitchell Bend area.
So I
and then
will,
the Somerville County location.
Yeah, I'd like to see the map when you have some time. But thank you for sending your letter. I referenced that letter in the resolution that we adopted about, I don't know, several weeks after your letter was sent. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. And I will say that we continue to try to make efforts to work cooperatively where we can on grant funding to address vehicle replacements. There's currently a grant opportunity that we're trying to pursue to bring EV charging into the county as well. And so we do try to make the efforts that we can. Of course, we're limited on funding, so that definitely, impacts what we're able to do.
Say anything?
No, I just appreciate everybody's efforts on our behalf. We've grown a lot. I'm the junior member up here, but we've been working hard to get social media. We've got a brand new website, and we're efforting as much as we can. Michelle's doing a monthly blog to make people aware of what's going on as well, because this is extremely important to us. So any help that we receive is much appreciated. And as Mark said, we really want to find what the source is and stem the tide, because it would be really bad if we got a non-attainment. Thank you, Commissioners.
Any further discussion? If not, do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the funding request for $30,000 for the Hood County Clean Air Coalition for fiscal 25-26.
I second. So motion is made by Commissioner Wilson to approve the funding request of $30,000 for Hood County Clean Air Coalition for fiscal year 2025-2026, second by County Judge Massengill. Any further discussion?
Just to general admin contingency.
Where? Contingency fund, to be paid from contingency fund. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously, 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. Thank you both, all three of you, for coming down. Michelle, you do a great job there, I'll tell you that. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Chuck, for all the website deal. Thank you both. Okay, item number 5, consider and take appropriate action to approve and have the county judge sign TNP's work authorization number 4, transportation bond support for civil engineering services not to exceed $25,000 to be paid from Fund 55. Clint Head. Yes, sir.
I didn't know Mr. Tillman wasn't going to be here, so I had no preparation to speak, but it only makes sense since they did the thorough master thoroughfare plan for Old Granbury Road and they did for the whole county. I'm assuming it's all part of, so y'all can decide how much of a bond election you want to do, because they'll have the numbers.
Right, they're going to work together with ITS and develop the information that's going to be needed before August, before we call for a bond.
Right.
Thank you. Your motion.
Yes, I move that we approve and have the county judge sign the TNP's work authorization number 4, transportation bond support for civil engineering services not to exceed $25,000 to be paid from Fund 55.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson to have the county judge sign TNP's work authorization number 4 for civil engineering services not to exceed $25,000 to be paid from Fund 55. Second by Commissioner Samuelson. Any further discussion?
Yes, Judge. One thing I would like to just make everyone aware of And I think y'all met, we met with TNP and the other folks yesterday. It's exciting, the possibilities that we have before us to start really making a dent in the roads here as far as getting through Granbury and getting through Hood County. But it's going to take you guys to decide if you want that. And Ryan is very knowledgeable. He's been involved in the Master Thoroughfare Plan from the get-go. And we're actually making very good progress that you're going to get a chance to vote on in November. So I'm very optimistic that we might have, because there's probably not a day that goes by that one of my constituents doesn't have some advice for me about our roads. So I'm looking forward to moving this forward. So thanks, Judge.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. Item number 6, discuss and take appropriate action to implement cashless systems at the Citizens Collection Station and the brush yard to include satellite or Wi-Fi booster and credit card swipe device. Request the county auditor to provide options and costs associated with this change. Okay, Ms. Samuelson, you want to?
Yes, so one of the things that I've been discussing with Jeannie, there she is, and Mr. Tuggle and our auditor and IT is a way to maybe not necessarily eliminate cash, but at least reduce the amount of cash and go to a cashless or credit card option for citizens that come out to either the Citizens Collection Station or the brush yard. So I didn't know that we were going to already have options, so this is great. I was expecting this to be something that we look at in the next couple of weeks. So do either of you want to talk about? So Chris and the county auditor have provided some information that we all have.
So Chris put this together and I shared it with you all. This includes the Wi-Fi option. He then later in this court session gave us additional information regarding cameras. I would like to continue talking about this because I asked Leanne how we typically handle the credit card machines, and we'd go directly through our banking system, and they prefer to have a hardwired rather than Wi-Fi connection for the credit cards, and I believe that also works better for cameras. So maybe we can partner with Road Ops, IT Road Ops, and Genie Collections Center and the brush yard can all work together to run some fiber lines from the existing buildings. Maybe the Road Ops team can help dig the holes, and we can work together. So it's a rough draft.
Okay.
With the cameras, he gave me a quote for $13,300 roughly. So it adds quite a bit when you talk about cameras. But if you're thinking about, a long-term plan, this is a pretty decent price to build out those operational controls that we're lacking.
So you'd like to table this until you have more time to look into the options?
We don't have a solid number at this very second.
All right. So,
well, just for discussion here, apparently people under 40, which I don't know anything about, use Venmo for everything.
Yes.
Is this something that we could look at including as a payment option, something?
Yeah, if you have Wi-Fi, internet, some type of that solution, you can look into the newer technologies like Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, all those types of things. It just requires more effort on the other side. So we can talk more about those solutions to
Okay, I
appeal
just kind of wanted to get
more
that.
than just a few generations. Yeah.
with the credit card, if we go that route, we also need to think about the credit card fee and where that comes from. So I think there's some things to discuss, but I think we're headed in the right direction. So.
Yeah, it would be wonderful to see this move forward to fruition.
Well, let me ask you this. Can you do both? Can you do paid by a card, whether it's PayPal, credit card, Venmo, whatever. But there may be a lot of older people that don't have credit cards, a Venmo or PayPal or credit cards, and don't want them, and they want to pay cash. So it'd be nice to have the option of people to either pay by a card, pay by plastic, or pay by cash. I see Jeannie Stack shaking her head in agreement with me. Don't you agree with that? Come up here and address that. I think we're going to table this anyway, but
if we go totally cashless, we need a new road ops crew to come pick up what they dump them in a hidden cul-de-sac somewhere. I mean, they picked up 4 loads about a month ago, 4 dump trucks, and I believe they picked up something somewhere yesterday. And the reason I say that is there was asphalt on the wall, which leads me to think that road ops had to pick stuff up and brought it to the collection station. When that happens, the county's out all the money. We're not even collecting a minute amount for it. So in order to keep them from doing that, I think we do need to keep the cash, check, and then add the credit card. Because there are people that come out there, they do not bring cash, and they don't have a check. So in that instance, we're also turning them down so they can go dump it on the side of the road for us to pick up.
Yeah, so I think having multiple options would be better.
And I believe Todd said yesterday that, you know, whatever we need to be able to keep it so, especially the brush yard moving, because we don't have that long a line off the major highway. It's off on 51. And when you have 15 cars lined up or vehicles lined up both directions trying to get in, we need something that we can move quickly. And if something happens, the credit card machine is down, at least we have an option to go ahead and let them come through.
Thanks.
I hear a motion to table this.
Yes, Judge, I'll make a motion to table this item
6.
6.
A motion been made by Commissioner Samuelson to table item 6.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously to table item number 6. All right, item number 7. Discuss and take appropriate action to sign the year-end 2025 Safe Streets for All grant resolutions. Patrick, what do you have for us, sir?
This resolution is, again, fairly, at least my efforts on it are fairly boilerplate, another grant application that the county is fulfilling, the same requirements of just authorizing and creating an authorized official and indicating that, yes, the county will use the money that, if awarded, the county will use the money that it, in the way it says it will. If we don't, we'll pay it back, the very kind of standard fare.
Okay. Sean?
Hello. I'm sure you guys are happy to see me. So this is the SS4A Safe Street Grant. What we're trying to do is Priority Dispatch has reached out to us saying, hey, you can use the fire modules and the law modules for this grant. We currently use the medical version of it, and what it does is when people call in to dispatch, we use these modules that provides a line of questioning based on the caller's responses in order to ensure scene and responder safety that are appropriate to the situation. So what we're trying to do is, in the Safe Street Grant, is safety for everybody. So when our responders are responding to it, we take that scene safety into play. There's a thing called wake effect, where responders are responding and everybody's trying to get out of the way. And we all know how 377 is. They all get out of the way, then they try to get over. So what these modules do, based on the line of questioning, assigns a priority to it. So priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, priority 4. So like 1 and 2, they run lights and sirens. 3 and 4, they would just respond normally. So it kind of takes that all into effect, so we don't have a bunch of crashes on the street. And that's kind of what this grant does. Also, what it will also do is, a side effect of it, it will also, the fire module helps with the ISO rating. When Granbury was going through, one of the questions are asked, what do you use for fire dispatching? And that fire module gives them points to lower the ISO rating. Lawrence, yes, yes, sir. So based on what I have, so it's $229,359 for the priority dispatch modules. We have to get a Spillman add-on, which is $34,095.04 for a total of $263,433.04-ish. The 20% match that we would pay would be $52,690.61.
52 what?
$52,690.61. And that's just me doing, that's Sean math. Just take that into consideration.
Right, and this is applying for the grant. We have not received it. It's not an acceptance of that, so we're not putting that money up yet. We're just asking for permission to apply for the grant.
Now,
So this is a reimbursement grant, so we would need to purchase it and do the 263. So we'd need to pay up front 263,000 and then ask for the reimbursement less the 20%.
Yes, so
Okay.
The NOFO states that once we hear back from them, they will send us a grant letter that says, hey, if you do these things, we will pay you back the amount, and then we put forward the expense, submit the relevant reports, and then we get reimbursed.
So what do we get for all that money? So we'll get 8 licenses to put, so you need a license per console. So we'll be able to outfit 8 consoles with these modules. We get what's called Aqua case review studies. So it will go in, and every time we do a call, you can go in and review it. And that goes into the quality assurance part. So we can make sure that the dispatcher is doing what they're supposed to do. And if somebody ever comes back and makes a complaint or anything like that, we can go back and QA it, saying, yes, they did this, and no, they did that. Because it's line for line for line on how it works. And it's a yes or no. Did you ask these questions, or did you not answer these questions? You get 6 manual card states. So if we lose internet or we lose CAD services, just like with the medical, we can go in and we can dispatch by the card set. That's old school dispatching there. We get 24 on-site training per TCO. We get certification training, because every 2 years with the ProQA medical, we have to do 22 hours to stay certified. So there's always a certification going on with that. We get an AI skill lab. So when we get new dispatchers in, they can use this AI skill lab. So right now, how it works is when we get new dispatchers in, and everybody hates us because we put the calls into the CAD system, and everybody sees cardiac arrest and everybody's running into the ambulances and fire trucks when we're just actually doing training. So this will be offline training. We get QA support, and it covers all the tech upgrades.
I think the software is very, obviously great as far as helping with safety. I just want to be sure we know all of this with our eyes open. It's also a $30,000 maintenance for year 2 through 5.
Yes.
So we need to budget for that. Also want to make sure everyone's aware that this is part of the President Joe Biden's infrastructure and IRFA, Infrastructure and Jobs Act.
Don't know anything about that.
Yeah, when I was reading through the grant, that's where it came from, was from the Infrastructure and Jobs Act. So I'm just wondering if there's any strings attached to it. We can, I guess, when and if they send the grant letter back, we can do some research on that to see what strings may be attached. We had, a surprise a little while ago about a grant that we applied for several years ago, and now we're scrambling to.
The grant award letter should act as a complete set of information regarding the requirements to get the reimbursement.
Okay.
So that, out of both grants, the grant letter acts as the contract between the county and the, in this case, DOT, the grantor. So again, we're just at the point of we need permission to be able to pay this.
Right. And the deadline is the 26th, so we can't table this or delay it. I think the software is really good. I think it is going to help with efficiency and safety and life-saving and all of that. I just want to be sure everyone's aware of
with our eyes open that what the cost is, what the ongoing cost will be, so we can budget that, and also make sure that we look into any strings that might be attached since it's coming from the federal government.
Yeah, so the medical, so the law and fire will get added on because we already use medical, so we'll just add that onto the contract to that one. So it'll be just one bill, and that ongoing. And then the Spillman API is, I think, is about $2,500 a month. That will get added on to the yearly Spillman budget too.
Okay.
Further discussion? If not, do I hear a motion?
Yes, I move that we authorize to sign for the FY 2025 Safe Street All Grant Resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson to sign the Safe Street for All Grant Resolution, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Sheriff, I didn't need you. You're not embarrassed that I didn't have to call you up on this, do you? Is that all right? Okay. Good. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Item number 8, consider take appropriate action to approve the Texas EMS rate increase from $18 to $36 per employee for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. Our HR Director, Ms. Melissa Wilbur.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
This is something the court approves every year. We've been doing this well over 10 years. I really just ran it under miscellaneous so you'd be aware of the rate increase. There's nothing that's changed. This is pretty much just regular business every year.
Thanks for bringing that, because it is a significant increase there. But again, this is for Texas EMS insurance, basically for your entire household.
That's correct.
Per resident. So if anybody, and this is for the county employees coverage. So if anybody in the home of a county employee rides on Texas EMS, this insurance covers part of that.
Yes, which is our local service.
Yes.
I hear a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the Texas EMS rate increase from 18 to 36 per employee for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Andrews to approve the Texas EMS rate increase from $18 to $36 per employee for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0.
You need to get Ricky to move that date to October 1st instead of July.
Okay, item number 9, receive update from the Fire Marshal, the illustrious Jeff Young, on NFPA Fire Code permit process. Take any action if necessary. Yes, sir.
Oh, did you want me to start off? I had asked our fire marshal to give us an update. We had a workshop in April, I think it was, to talk about the what this process would be, how it might help us with safety along the lines of the battery energy storage systems or other industries that are developing around our county. So we're just wondering, since that was April, what the progress has been and where we go from here.
Okay, so essentially you've got a old hose dragger, myself, trying to develop a permitting process. So I feel like we need to have a way for whoever it is that's developing property to know that there is a permitting process and what the fee schedule is going to be. I know the fee schedule I brought from Van Zandt County was not very appealing, and nobody wanted to adopt that fee schedule, and I get it. I was working on a permitting process with one of the individuals in IT who resigned 2 weeks ago, and nobody knew that he was working on that, so nobody knows where to pick up. I'm not a software developer, so I don't know anything about developing a permitting process. I've tried to find some other comparable permitting processes and fee schedules for other counties that are kind of in our general vicinity. But going back even further, when we had the workshop regarding the buses in the first place, when we had the individual from Van Zant that came out, that was kind of groundbreaking for a lot of the county fire marshals who had been under the impression for years that we could not enforce fire codes because we didn't meet a population requirement. So him being kind of the pioneer in that whole deal and bringing up to everyone's attention that local government code does in fact give us the authority to enforce codes that are adopted by the state. I still get phone calls from other counties asking, how are you doing that? What's giving you the ability to do that? So that is still a work in progress. I'm trying to find things to compare to, trying to develop a fee schedule. In the meantime, I will let you know, I put this piece of paper aside because I don't want it to be confused with the others. This is what it looks like when they file the pre-plan on one of these events. So this is all the UL testing. This is the site emergency plan. I got this yesterday. So this basically is for the Apache Hill, which is the one off of Mambrano Highway. This is the one that, this is all their pre-submit documents. So while I'm trying to figure out how to do this fee process and all of that stuff, I have a phone book now I've got to go review to make sure that they meet the safety requirements and their stuff is UL listed and approved and all of that. So I just want to point out, for those that may be listening or anybody that's paying attention, this is not just a 855 fire code thing. 855 is the one code that addresses battery storage systems. This is 855, NFPA 1, NFPA 101, NFPA 13. There's a whole list of NFPA fire codes that the state has adopted. So as I'm developing this fee schedule, it's got to be kind of an all-encumbering fee schedule for each of those things. That's sprinklers, that's commercial, that's multifamily, that's all of that stuff. And again, going back to the fact that you got a hose dragger doing that is not a software developer and has not ever had fire codes or fees to look at. It's an ongoing process, and it is something that I'm working on in all of my free time.
So just so people that may not be familiar with Precinct 2, that Apache Hill is right next to a daycare.
It sits behind Rainbow's Promise, yes.
Yes, so
off of Mambrano Highway.
This is why the residents in Precinct 2 have continually brought this to my attention, that we need to have some safety measures because of the location so close to the daycare and other homes that are near there. I'm a little concerned about the software development because some of our other processes that we have here in the county for permits, they're just Word documents that are posted on the web, or just a link or a statement that says contact this department for a permit schedule.
I think there's a clearer outline on how and what you need to do to permit an on-site storage facility or an on-site sewer facility than there is to build a battery storage plant. Now, going back to what you said, knowing that battery storage project is one of the things, they understand that they need to be 855 compliant.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I don't have right now is a permit process for them to ask for that to happen,
mm-hmm.
and a fee schedule to tell them how much that inspection and all that stuff's going to be beyond that. This is their 855 compliance part that they're doing in their planning phase.
Mm-hmm.
So the projects that I have spoke to do know that they need to be 855 compliant. I just don't know what to charge them for that.
At this point.
And the ones that are looking at coming
mm-hmm.
don't have a way of knowing what the process is to apply for a permit.
We have one speaker, Ms. Jessica Hall. You want to come up here and add to this?
Hello again. I'm here today to ask that you enforce the National Fire Protection Association Standard 855 for the installation and maintenance of the battery energy storage systems. It's essential for this county to ensure that all battery systems are installed and operated safely and do not become or continue to be a nuisance to the public. The 855 provides guidelines that address the known fire hazards, electrical safety issues, system maintenance, and addresses the issue of the toxic off-gassing from harmful chemicals contained within these batteries. It is critical that the 855 be enforced to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of residents in Hood County, of which are already suffering from the unrelenting noise and the air pollution that pre-existing energy facilities are producing in this county as we speak. This standard enforcement is something that should have been done before the first BESS was ever allowed to be built in this county. Outside of the 855, there are practically zero laws, regulations, guidelines, or even permitting that apply to the BESS industry, like we've heard. Besides the devastating constant noise pollution, fire, and health hazards that come from these facilities, I've also recently learned that homeowners living in close proximity to large-scale battery facilities may be at risk of losing their homeowner's insurance due to possible explosions and fires caused by the batteries going into thermal runaway. This is beyond deeply concerning for me and for my neighbors. Moreover, this county should enforce the 855 due to a new bill, HB 3824, that is passed and is waiting to be signed by our governor. This bill directs the Commissioner of Insurance to adopt safety standards based on the nationally recognized codes, specifically the National Fire Protection Association's 855 standard. HB 3824 also prohibits local governments from enforcing ordinances that conflict with the commissioner's standards that are stated above. As you know, one project, Rain Lily Solar and BESS, will be located 600 feet from the Brazos River on a piece of land that is considered ecologically sensitive by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service due to terrain, wildlife, and multiple watersheds and tributaries that flow into the Brazos and contribute to our Trinity Aquifer. The other location, as we've heard, Apache Hill, the fourth BESS, is also concerning as the company is planning to build along Manbrino, like y'all have said, in between the elementary school and the daycare center nearby. Many of us do not think it's appropriate or safe for children to be exposed 24/7 to intense noise coming from the battery storage facilities, loud cooling fans, added transformers, as well as the hazards of air pollution from possible fires and overheated batteries. How many people in this county want their children to be exposed to lithium, hydrogen fluoride, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, POF3, and more? All of these chemicals are hazardous and cause a variety of health problems. We must protect our children's health and the air that they breathe at all costs. For these reasons, it is imperative for the county to enforce the NFPA 855. To ensure that the permitting and the safety standards for these hazardous facilities are followed to the letter. It is your duty as county commissioners and our honorable judge to lead and make decisions based on the stewardship and the sustainability of our county. Our community's future and our children's future rests in your hands. Thank you for letting me speak today.
I got a question for you. Could you give me some more detail on 3824? Because the session ended Sunday. Did that pass both Senate and the House?
Yes, I believe it's passed both the Senate and the House, and it's just waiting on Abbott to sign off on it.
It's too late.
Is it already?
If he didn't sign it, it was pocket veto.
It was about 4 days ago, but so I don't know.
Okay,
Done that.
I'll find out.
Wouldn't that mean that if he didn't veto it and he didn't sign it,
If he
it
didn't
becomes
sign it,
law?
it's a pocket veto. If he didn't sign it, it's vetoed.
Okay. Thank you.
From what I get from what Jeff Young does, he's working on it, so there's no action to take.
No action to take, but I'll talk to you afterwards. I think we spoke a little bit on the phone. I think you can put aside any software development and just create a Word document and post it on the web and have, a notice that says this is required.
Good. Why don't y'all work that? That's something y'all need to work out, not Commissioner's Court.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, good. Thank you, Jeff. All right. Item number 10, authorize Hood County Judge to sign the liability renewal questionnaire for October the 1st, 2025 to September the 30th, 2026 renewal. Again, Ms. Welber.
Yes, sir. This is, again, every year, the court receives this, and it requires the county judge's signature on the very last page. And then I'll get it submitted to Texas Association of Counties, and they'll get our plan worked up for automobile and public official liability and cybersecurity. This also includes our cyber.
Great, something we have to do. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we authorize the county judge to sign the liability renewal questionnaire for October 1, 2025 to September 30th, 2026 renewal.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson to authorize the Hood County Judge to sign the liability renewal questionnaire for October the 1st, 2025 to September 30th, 2026 renewal. Second by Commissioner Eagle. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0.
Thank you.
That brings us now, thank you, Ms. Welborn. That brings us now to the consent agenda. Does any commissioner wish to pull or question anything on the consent agenda? If not, do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as stated.
Second.
Made by Commissioner Wilson that we approve the consent agenda as stated, second by Commissioner Eagle. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Now that brings us to the development. Mr. Clint Head. Set a public hearing for the replat of OWD Ranch, Section A, Phase 2. What hearing date?
August 12th.
August the 12th. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, Judge, I make a motion to set the public hearing for the replat of Old WD Ranch, Section A, Phase 2, Lots 6RA and 6RB for August the 12th, 2025.
Second.
Motion been made by Commissioner Andrews to set a public hearing for August the 12th, 2025 for the replat of the OWD Ranch, second by Commissioner Samuelson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Item B, discuss and consider the final plat of W.S. Corley Edition, lots 1 and 2, Block 1, Precinct 2.
Yes. This final plat is a subdividing of a 10-acre tract that is part of the A.W. Bell Survey Abstract Number 92. It will be creating one 6.88 acre lot known as Lot 1 and a 3.12 acre lot known as Lot 2. The proposed plat lies in the Road Corridor District in Precinct 2 and be served by private well and on-site sewage facilities. This final plat has no infrastructure proposed with it, as it will be accessing existing Rickaball Road. All comments have been addressed. Staff recommends approval as presented.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Judge, I make a motion to approve the final plat of W.S. Gorley Edition, Lots 1 and 2, Block 1.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Samuelson to approve the final plat of W.S. Gorley Edition, lots 1 and 2, Block 1, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. All right, at this time, at 24 minutes to 11, we are adjourning into a public hearing to discuss and consider the site development plan for the Brightview building. Yes, sir.
This commercial building is being proposed on a 1.3 acres lot in the Road Corridor District that will be accessing to Royal Lane. The property will be served by Texas Utilities Water and served by on-site sewage facilities. Texas Utility Water has provided a letter stating they will service the building, and Environmental Health has reviewed the on-site sewage facility, and staff has reviewed it, recommends approval, and then they will get their sewer permit from Environmental Health.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I go back.
Oh, that's, excuse me. So at 23 minutes to 11, here we're trying to do multitasking here. We're adjourning back into Commissioner's Court. So we're back in Commissioner's Court. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I move that we approve the site development plan for Brightview Buildings.
Second.
By Commissioner Wilson to approve the site plan, development plan for the Brightview building, second by Commissioner Eagle. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0. At this time, at 22 minutes to 11, we are adjourning into a public hearing to discuss and consider the infrastructure development plan for Shady Oaks RV Park in Precinct 2. What do you got, Mr. Head?
This RV park is being located on Lot 1, Block 1 of BSMP plat, Granbury Plat 1 and Precinct 2 that y'all just approved about a month ago, I think. The RV park is being proposed on 7.569 acres in the Road Corridor District and will be accessing Contrary Creek Road. This RV park proposes to create 46 RV spaces. It will be served by AMUD Water, and we have a letter that's stating they can provide service, and will be served by on-site sewage facilities. This is in compliance with our density regulations, and staff has reviewed the infrastructure plan and recommends approval as presented.
Okay.
And there is right-of-way dedicated.
There was right-of-way dedicated on the plat, not with an infrastructure plan.
Public here wish to make any kind of statement on this RV hearing at all here? If not, so at this time at 21 minutes to 11, we are convening back into Commissioners Court, and do I hear a motion?
Judge, I move that we approve the infrastructure development plan for Shady Oaks RV Park.
Motion been made by Commissioner Samuelson to approve the infrastructure development plan for Shady Oaks RV Park, second by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously 5-0.
Thank you.
Mr. Head, thank you for your help. And now financial, the illustrious Miss Stephanie Matlock.
Well, hello. For the period of June 4th through June 16th, I would request that the court approves the amount of $500,037.72. My office has reviewed all of these expenditures and request the court accept them, or approve them, excuse me.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the payments of $500,037.72.
Second.
By Commissioner Andrews to pay the bills in the amount of $500,037.72, second by Commissioner Samuelson. Any further discussion?
Just for the record, this includes the payment of $108,743.50 to two counties for out-of-county housing.
Which would have been $92,000 if we kept them here.
Subject to that, or with that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Now you got the reconciliations.
It's the end of the month, so we have our monthly reports and bank reconciliations. My office has reviewed all of which and recommends the court accepts them.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve or receive the financial reports and bank reconciliations for June 1, 2025 through June 15, 2025.
Second.
Motion been made by Commissioner Andrews to approve the bank reconciliation as reviewed by the audit department, second by Commissioner Wilson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this court is adjourned. Thank you.